Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Intense Takes Inside My Mind. Got a big episode ahead for you today. If you thought my Giannis lose last week was something, wait until you see what I got for you this week. Let's jump right into it. Hey, so let's jump right into the power rankings for this week. At the top of the list has been pretty steady so far. So far in this season. So let's jump right into it. Once again, we're gonna go with OKC. I mean, they're 23-1 right now. They're just playing amazing basketball. They went 4-0 during this past week, winning by an average margin of 14 points. Number one in defensive rating, top 5 in offensive rating. SGA once again just shooting the ball so efficiently, averaging 32 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. So, man, honestly, I feel like OKC is probably gonna stay up there. Everybody else is just fighting from 2 to 5. So shout out to OKC continuing to play great basketball. Number 2, we got the Pistons coming in. They've been pretty steady at number 2 also. Bounced back after losing 2 games the week prior. They went 2-1 last week. Cade averaging 28, 6 and 9. I got some potential trades that I'll talk about later on in this episode, but they're continuing to play great basketball. Top 5 defense right now. They're a team that could be working with, and there's something in the future for them that I believe that if they make this trade, they will be the favorites in the East for sure. Number 3, we got the Denver Nuggets coming in, sitting at 17-6 right now. They went 3-0 this past week. Jamal Murray was insane this past week. He averaged He averaged 36 points per game, including that 52-point outburst against the Pacers, where he went 10 for 11 from 3-point range. Just elite efficiency. They have a top 5 offense right now, also a top 10 defense. Denver's playing some really great basketball. They played some really great basketball last week. They were in some big games also that I'll talk about later on in this segment too. But shout out to Denver. Shout out to Jamal Murray also. He's definitely looking like he's going to make that all-star team this year. Number 4, I've been kind of fighting putting this team in my power rankings so far this year, but I kind of have to. And I'm going to go with the Lakers. They're also sitting at 17-6 right now. They went 3-0 this past week too. Rui Hachimura hit the game-winning 3 against the Raptors, which was a great game. It didn't make my best games this week, but it was definitely up there for consideration. LeBron played great this past 2 games ago against the Sixers, closing out that game, scoring 5 straight points, and then a dagger step back 2 also. He finished that game with 29, 7, and 6. Lakers right now are top 6 in offense, but they're 20th in defense. And that's a huge reason why I am not big on this team. I'm never big on this team. I understand people get so enamored with their offense and them having 3 elite scorers. But I'm more of somebody that looks in the future, and I look at what's going to happen when the playoffs start. And the Lakers are just not a team that I have any faith in. I will always pick against them, but right now we're talking about regular season, so they look like a top 4 team in the league for sure. Now we coming in at number 5, we got the Houston Rockets. They're at 15-6 right now. Their schedule has been a little flaky. There's a lot of breaks between them when they're playing games, so I feel like this team hasn't really had a chance to catch a rhythm yet because of the way that their schedule has been laid out so far. But they went 2-1 last week. 2 big wins against the Kings and the Suns without Şengün. They did lose a back-to-back against the Dallas Mavericks on Saturday night. But this team, they continue to impress me for sure. 4th in offense, 2nd in defense. If you're a top 5 team in both offense and defense, you're a title contender for sure. So shout out to the Rockets. We have KD, who had a great week last week also. Even though they lost that game to the Dallas Mavericks, he was amazing in that game. Versus the Kings, he was amazing in that game. Versus the Suns, he was amazing in that game. So he had a really good week last week. And I'm also going to show some film on KD later on in this episode also, just showing how the big jump I feel like he's had so far this season, with the Rockets looking for a point guard and them having to share point guard duties between their team. But shout out to the Rockets. They look like a good team for sure. Next, we'll jump into my best games that I saw over the past week. Number one, I'm gonna go with the Lakers versus the Sixers. That was a great game, especially that fourth quarter. Like I said, LeBron scored 5 straight points. He hit some huge threes also. It was by far his best game since he's been back from injury. Finished with 29 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Luka finished with a 30-point triple-double. That was a really great game. Tyrese Maxey was really good. Joel hit some big shots in the fourth quarter also, even though he finished 4 of 21, I believe. And it's hard for Joel right now. He's still trying to get his rhythm, and it's going to be tough to do that when you're playing every 3 to 4 weeks. But I like the Sixers as a team. PG has been playing fairly well since he's been back from injury. Hasn't been shooting a lot, but I feel like he's been as efficient as he possibly could be. I like the Sixers. I think that it's all about continuity with this team, and Tyrese Maxey has been amazing, being able to hold the float and hold the fort down for that team. But that was a really good game that I saw, especially that fourth quarter. It was some elite basketball being played. The second game that I watched that was really good this past week, Nuggets versus the Hawks. The Nuggets ended up winning that game 134 to 133. Elite offense all around. I mean, it was a great game, high scoring, high octane, great ball movement in that game. I just like the way the Hawks. They're a top 3 team in the league when it comes to assists. They spread the ball around really well, and then we see the emergence of Jalen Johnson. Last week he had two games where he had triple doubles. He had one 30-point triple double. In this game versus the Nuggets, he had 21, 18, and 16. I mean, that's just a crazy stat line. Jokic, of course, was amazing in that game. A huge reason why they ended up pulling that game out by 1. He had 40 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. But that was a great game. That was by far the 2 best games that I saw this past week. Those are also my power rankings for the 3rd episode. So welcome to segment 2, where I talk about my surprise teams and just potential trades that I see coming down the pipeline. First, I'll start off with my surprise teams. Been trying to avoid this team so far this year, but you just can't look past how bad they've looked, especially with the recent Chris Paul news that came out last week. The Clippers just look terrible. They look like a terrible team this year, which is very surprising to me. The team has talent, but they're underperforming, and this is even when Kawhi is on the floor also. Of course, it doesn't help that he's missed 10 games so far this year, but even in the games that they've played, they've been blown out. They've been losing. So this team just doesn't look good. They don't look like a good team. They're ranked 20th in offense. They ranked 25th in defense, which is the biggest surprise to me, because one thing about Tyronn Lue is that he's a great coach, but the thing that separates him from a lot of coaches is his ability to adapt and make in-game adjustments. And I'm not seeing that at all from this team or from this coaching staff. So it's been pretty weird to watch this team play. And yeah, injuries happen, but Kawhi didn't play last year and they were able to stay afloat. So this year, everything just being just very, very funky, it looks like. But this team doesn't look good. And then just kind of going into the Chris Paul news too. When Chris Paul decided to go to the Clippers, it didn't make sense to me. Why you would go back to a team, or why you would go back to play with a guy who got you shipped out of another team that you were playing with. We're talking about James Harden here. If we all remember, James Harden doesn't like Chris Paul, and he's the reason why Chris Paul was traded from the Rockets to OKC. So I was just very confused when Chris Paul made that decision to go to the Clippers, being that James Harden was still there. So yeah, this team they don't look like a good basketball team. We're a quarter away into the season at this point, and for the most part, I don't really see an avenue as to where this team could really get better and make these adjustments. I feel like there's just too much going on at this point in the season. My second surprise team, we're going to go to the good side. I'm gonna go with the Phoenix Suns, man. Like I'm really surprised by this team and how they've played so far this year. I expected them to be mediocre at best, but they've looked really, really good so far this year. They're sitting at 14-10 right now. That's with Devin Booker missing games, and then Jalen Green missing a vast majority of the year. So it's a very great accomplishment to see how well that they've played so far this year. The addition of Dylan Brooks, not just with his toughness, but also his improved ability to score the ball, especially in the mid-range, posting up, driving to the basket, like using his strength. I feel like this team is a really good team. They're going to be in that hunt for sure to get in the playoffs or getting in a play-in spot. But they looked really good so far. I feel like this first-year head coach, Jordan Ott, he's really instilled identity with this team, and that's to play tough, move the ball around. They have some really good bigs, Iguodala, Mark Williams, of course, and then but yeah, Mile Watch. He's playing really good. I mean, he hasn't really got a chance to play consistently yet. So this team looks really solid to me so far. They're 12th in offensive rating, 10th in defensive rating. I like them. I really like how they look so far. All right, now let's get to potential trades. Now I know going back into last week, I dropped the whole Giannis news, which was I know nobody really expected it. Like I said, we shot the episode 2 days before the news actually came out. And I know in my first episode, I mentioned how, like, if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I pretty much call things out before they happen. I'm sure everybody has seen today or over the past couple of days that Anthony Davis is probably going to hit that trade market soon. And the Detroit Pistons are at the top of the list to be one of his suitors. If you don't remember or if you don't know, I've been saying for a while, especially when Jaden Ivey was out last year and Cade Cunningham was taking that huge leap, Ausar Thompson was taking that huge leap, I said that Jaden Ivey's time on this team is coming to an end very soon. Now, I was probably a couple months too early because I said they would trade him during the summertime, but the time is still coming. So the report that's coming out is that if Detroit does make an offer for Anthony Davis, Jaden Ivey will be a part of that deal. It's something that I always said. I mean, I made a tweet March 25th of this year. I said this. I said that the Detroit Pistons are going to trade him. Even if they trade for an older player, they're going to trade for a better player. No matter what you say about Anthony Davis and how injury prone he is, by all metrics, he's a way better player than Jaden Ivey is right now. And like I said, I believe the Pistons getting him will put them at the top of the list to make it out of the East. They're already sitting at the top of the East right now. They've played great basketball so far this year. But I'm looking forward to seeing this trade happen potentially, not only because I called it out, but because coming into the year, I had a lot of faith in the Pistons and I was very high on them. This trade for Anthony Davis will only make me more higher on them. So that's one potential trade that I will tell everybody to look out for. That's my surprise teams and my potential trades for so far this week. Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to Film Breakdown for today. We're going to look at the Houston Rockets versus Phoenix Suns game. Right here, I'm going to show you in my first couple episodes, I showed you sets more times than not and running full through. Today, I want to show you what it's like and the advantages of having a player like Kevin Durant. Running the pick and roll, having the defense blitz you, having the defense focus on you, and that opening up things for the rest of your team. And I'm pointing out this specific play because at the beginning of the season, Kevin Durant had a lot of trouble with teams doubling him, triple teaming him. And one thing I noticed, mainly I want to say about 3 years ago, first round when Kevin Durant was with the Brooklyn Nets and they played the Celtics. And what happened was the Celtics allowed Kevin Durant to play their game. They often baited him into making that first pass, making him think that it was open and it really wasn't. And I saw some of that again this season too, mainly in that Spurs game that they played where he had 8 turnovers in that game. I think as the season has gone on, he's become a lot better at slowing down, really seeing the defense as a whole and making the easy pass, but also not allowing the defense to rush him. So we're going to head into this first play here. Hit record. Because I want you to watch Kevin Durant. So he's bringing up the ball, and Steven Adams is going to come up here and he's going to set a screen. Nice hard screen. So I want you to also watch Mark Williams. As Grayson Allen is going to try to get over the screen here. Mark Williams is right there, and these two are going to blitz Kevin Durant. So I'm going to play it again. And now they're going to a double. And one thing about the Rockets, and more times than not, you don't really see a lot of guards play in a dunker spot. But Amen Thompson plays in a dunker spot a lot. And this is also why it's so good for their offense and why their offense runs so smoothly. And they have a lot of bigs who can make passes and can pass the ball really well. So I'm gonna play it again. And here goes Amen. So let's go back again. We're gonna start it. And it's a real simple play, real quick pick and roll. Steven sets a good pick, he dives. Kevin makes a nice pass, and then there's another cut. So it's just passing, and it's just great passing all around, to be honest with you. Play it one more time for you here. Steven, he sets a solid screen. We're coming up, we're jumping, we're trapping. One more pass, easy bucket. And that's a huge thing that the Rockets do. They do a lot of that whether it's Steven Adams or Şengün, Jabari Smith, bigs that are setting screens, and then they're able to make that next pass to either the corner for an open three or in a dunker spot where Josh Okogie would be, Amen Thompson would be, Jabari Smith, anybody. You have good bigs that know how to pass, but it all starts with having a player like Kevin Durant, who in this game was on fire. And once you have a player like that who has the defense on their heels, they're so focused on him that they forget about the other players around him. So this possession really stuck out to me. Really simple play. Real simple basketball play, but it just goes to show you what having a player like that could do for the rest of your team. Hey, what's up? So we're adding a new segment here this week, and we're going forward, but this segment is called Bonus Takes. In this segment, I pretty much just get my shit off. I talk about everything media, sports media, not only basketball, but football also, current players, former players. I just talk about anything that I see, things that I feel like I need to get off my chest. I feel like one of those things that I have to get off my chest right now is the noise surrounding Jalen Hurts. Understand the Eagles aren't playing good football right now, but the noise surrounding him, I know there was a couple reports that came out through Philly newspaper just talking about potentially benching him. And to me, that's just outrageous. Saying that you want to bench somebody that has outplayed arguably the second greatest quarterback of all time in 2 Super Bowls, just came off of winning an MVP, and pretty much up until this past Monday, he was pretty good at not turning over the ball. I believe in Jalen Hurts. I've always been a big believer in Jalen Hurts. Back when he was at Alabama, especially when he went over to Oklahoma, I've been his biggest fan. Since he's been in the league, I've been his biggest fan. I mean, we're talking about a guy that's an all-pro that would have had an MVP if he didn't get injured that first year that he went to the Super Bowl. Pro Bowler. I mean, you name it, he's accomplished it. And he's a winner at the end of the day. We're talking about a guy that shows up in the biggest moments. So I feel like sports media is so hot takey. And also, like, this is what I'll say. I never played sports at the highest level. Didn't play in college, didn't play professionally. But when I did play, I was pretty good in both football and basketball. But I think what separates me from media members or even current players, I do watch these games and I watch them to understand. I watch them to comprehend and I understand what's going on. I don't just talk just for the sake of it. So I feel like when I see media members who have gotten their positions because of journalism or because of nepotism or because of people that they might know, or even or even former players that are in media too, for the simple fact that they played the game. I'm a strong believer, and I've been noticing this, and it's just my opinion, But recently, I have come to felt like when it comes to former players, I don't really think that some former players, I'm not going to say all, I don't feel like some former players actually know the game. I feel like they were gifted with God-given abilities that they just didn't have any choice but to play the sports that they ended up playing. But like I said, I get really tired of media at times, and it's a huge reason why I decided to start a podcast, because I wanted to let people know from a different lens how to look at these games, how to look at these players, how to break down film, what to look at, what to look for. I spent my time around the game since I was young, whether it was playing, coaching it, training other kids. I've spent a lot of time, and I spent a lot of my time watching this stuff also, not just basketball but football and all other sports too. So that's really something that I wanted to get off my chest this week. I would say bonus takes moving forward will be more so broadened out between sports. Like I said, basketball, football. When baseball season starts, same thing there. But I just want people to get away from the numbers and statistics, analytics. My thoughts on things, and just like also my thoughts on what's going on in the media world and how people look at things.